Yes, we will make appointments and we will do that, but there is that element of fear that members of our community are experiencing right now, and it's a very visceral thing, especially when you're dealing with something that affects your health and your living, your ability to live. So there's a definite sense of urgency, and in many ways we feel as though we are being terrorized by a rogue federal department that is really going on its own agenda and out to harm people, and so that sense of urgency and fear is very well founded, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to meet with us and to work with us. But it is that sense of urgency, because essentially this is a life and death matter for not just us, a lot of people. I mean, there are people who can't come here because they're home.
Hundreds of thousands.
They're homebound.
Yeah.
They can't, and so so there is that. It is a very urgent situation, and I guess that is really the crux of why we are so adamant as we are to on this room, because it is a life and death situation for thousands of people, and that's not
You
just
gotta go.
the city.
Yeah, I have to go back and say something. Yeah, this is something somebody was talking about outside, that I think it's really, really important for local officials, from the mayor to the governor, to stand up for the policies of our state. Because states' rights is really getting to be an important thing right now. I mean, I just read in the paper today, we all knew it was going to happen, where the EPA, I mean, I know it's not directly related, but they won't let California enforce stricter emission standards.
Yes.
You know? And I mean, this has to do with our health too. It's like the federal government is jumping into states' rights, trying to take care of their citizens' health. And this is just a parallel. So I think it's really important that the local officials, the mayor, the governor, this is California law. This is for the health of Californians, both these issues. And, we can't let the federal government take away our health rights. We've got to stand up for that in every way we can. Because the more they infringe on us, on our health rights in general, the more they're going to do it. The more they get away with, the more they're going to do it. So we got to stand up for our local rights now.
Hey, so my name is Christopher Chester. I'm a retired registered nurse. I'm a long-term medical marijuana patient, long-term San Francisco resident, and an AIDS patient. And just one thing that keeps ringing through my head. A minute ago you said that we are in the mayor's office. Isn't the mayor in our office? I mean, that makes more sense to me. I feel like we've been a little bit pushed off here just because this is our government. This is not the mayor's government. I just don't get it. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, I think one of the things that's been frustrating for our community is we know that national policy heads like Camilla Norman-Fields, et cetera, DPA, et cetera, ASA, have been trying to get the mayor out. And we kind of sat back and said, okay, let's let the policy folks get in there and bring out the mayor. And apparently they weren't able to schedule with the right people either. So when the national policy groups aren't able to get the appointment, and we're left in the sense with basically the bread and butter activism tactic of having a rally and then coming up that strong to the mayor's office, because this is how important it is, and we don't really feel that there's a lot of time to work with.
That's right. Yeah.
And to be able to get the judiciary, chairperson some support today from the mayor before this is their last legislative day, and we're trying to expedite our hearing. And we know there's other critical issues in America, but what we're really looking at is that if they take out the safe access system of California, that means the 11 other states, that's what they're trying to squash. It's not just one state, it's 12 states who they're trying to silence, and we need the mayors to communicate directly with the Judiciary Committee in Congress so that we can get our hearing expedited. Is there any method that we can approach the mayor about getting something, since this is the last legislative day, to the Judiciary Chairperson in support?
He's got a full memo about his full range of options about things that he could do, so we'll continue to wait for him to tell us what he wants to do.
And in this waiting, I know that there's a huge email and letter campaign going on, and I know that some of the other local activists have a phone campaign going on.
Yes, I've heard. The Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services has gotten many phone calls.
Right, and I mean, I'm not so sure how productive, you know, who knows what tactic's going to be productive, but it's hard for activists just to be left with tactics instead of being able to basically get a direct answer. I mean, I appreciate that you're spending the time, but I mean, it does kind of come down to feeling a bit like a brick wall when we're trying to say, we need your help now, you know, and, you know, several other elected officials joined us today. We had Senator Carol Migden, we had Assemblyman Leno's office, we had Supervisor Mercarimi's office, and the supervisor himself, a police commissioner, all different, you know, aspects of our local government that have been helping to protect safe access. And they got it on short notice. These things happen on short notice. If and when the raids happen, it will be very short notice. And, you know, when I spoke with the police commissioner, he said that Chief Fong was even willing to come out and reaffirm our sanctuary status, as she did with immigration, once the mayor gives her the okay to do so. So we feel like we're in limbo, which I'm sure you can appreciate, because, you know, we're waiting for the other shoe to fall, so to speak, isn't a position that people want to be in when they're caring for people's lives. And I'm not sure, as a senior advisor, I'm sure that you're probably the person briefing the mayor, right?
No,
No?
but I didn't write the briefing, but we are advising him on different options and what he could do.
Okay, well, can you give us some feedback on our asks? One ask that we had was a letter to the Attorney General supporting John Conyers
Yeah, I
Station.
need to write those down, actually, if you could.
Sorry. Wait, I don't want it in Shoney's, but I have paper. Okay.
Need a pen? I have a pen.
You got a pen? Okay, cool. Okay. I'm ready.